Now let's look at what they are doing. We know Hamas hides behind civilians in Gaza. Hamas places forces and weapons inside, under, and around schools, mosques, homes, and UN facilities. Among the worst of Hamas war crimes is the use of hospitals to hide their terror infrastructure. We already revealed Hamas Command and Control Center under the Shifa Hospital. Now let's talk about two more hospitals. Hamas uses hospitals to disguise their war machine is systematic. The Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani Hospital is located north of the Gaza city along the coast. Its construction was funded by the Qatari government and it's called the Qatari Hospital. Here you can see the IDF soldiers exposing a tunnel opening. This is part of an operation, a ground operation that was conducted on the hospital, then revealed a tunnel that was being used for terror infrastructures in the Qatari hospital. If it wasn't enough, this tunnel, if it wasn't enough that we exposed the tunnel under the hospital, the terrorists also shoot at our soldiers from within the hospital. I will now play a video for you taken recently from Qatari hospital. You will see Hamas terrorists firing at the IDF soldiers from the inside of the hospital, a hospital funded by Qatar. We already released evidence of Hamas' use of Shifa hospital to shield its terror complex. And Hamas uses the Qatari hospital for terror as well. Today we will also release evidence that the Indonesian hospital is being used by Hamas to hide the underground command and control center. This is an Indonesian hospital. This picture was taken in 2023. You can see the hospital structures in south of the roundabout of both sides of the road. The hospital is located in northern Gaza between Jabalia and Bet Hanun. The construction of the hospital was funded by several NGOs from Indonesia. I will show you the reason why they built the hospital there. This picture here was taken in 2010 when the hospital was under construction. Take a look here at the area in red. They were Hamas terror outposts. Unsurprisingly, Hamas built a hospital on top of their terror infrastructures. Those outputs of Hamas had underground facilities before they started to construct the hospital, the Indonesian hospital. There are three important areas to point out. The first area is the collection of cement materials here. You can see here arches. These arches are very, very unique. It's a unique structure. It's only used for underground terror facilities for Hamas. These cement arches are not needed when building hospitals. They are used to build underground city of terror, an underground metro of tunnels. We have watched Hamas use these arches to build tunnels for many years. Instead of building homes for Gazans, he built this metro over hundreds of kilometers underneath Gaza and underneath places like hospitals and mosques. They are building underground terror infrastructures for Hamas. Here you can see the entrance to an underground tunnel. Hamas used this tunnel to access their command and control complex under the hospital. This is all satellite, and of course all these images and intelligence and more was shared with other agencies to confirm what I'm showing you now. Now let's take a look at the hospital in 2020. You can see that the cement materials, including the arches, are no longer above the ground. Done. It's all underneath the ground. This is a satellite image of the hospital complex taken after the massacre of 7th of October. I am going to zoom in on the area here. Okay? Across the street. Only 75 meters, 80 meters to the hospital. Here, the IDF identified a launch pad, meaning they launch rockets from here. I want to repeat it. They launch rockets on Israel 75 meters from an hospital. Why? They know precisely that if Israel will airstrike a launch pad like that, the hospital would be damaged. And this was part, of course, of the outpost before, in 2010, this architecture of underground facility, including launch pads. Here you see layer by layer how Hamas systematically built the Indonesian hospital to disguise its underground terror infrastructure. And we see that they use the area around the hospital as a base for terror against Israel today. Now I want to reveal evidence that Hamas steals fuel from the Indonesian hospital. Next, we will listen to a phone call from November 2nd with an official closely affiliated to Hamas terror organization. Let's listen.
لازم انا بحكي انه جولي في الاندونيسي قال عم بيبعثوها، بتعرف طلعوا الاعلام قال بعد 12 ساعه بوقفوا، نزلوا الموقود والساعات وهيك.
الدعايات كتير، طبعا انت بحب الدعايات كتير. انا بقول لك لما بتشوف انت طفى رسمي ولع الشمع ولا الداب بتقول الله يعطيه العافيه.
نازلين له نقص سولر ونقص سولر، ولا عندهم نقص شيء. كذابين. السولر اللي عم بوصل لسه على الشفا وعلى الاندونيسي وعلى ناصر وعلى الرنتيسي، وصلوا من مين؟
هذول مخزون موجود في المحطة، هذول المصريين اللي حكيت لك عنه.
بس المستشفيات عم بتقول لي انه عم بوصلوا لهم اياهم تعرف ناس اللي بتيجي تتبرع عراي. السؤال في منه ولا هذا كمان لعبه اللي عم بيلعبوها حماس؟ كذابين. انا حكيت لك امبارح كيف انت بتشغل بتقول فيش عنده سولار وفي سيارات او المحطات بتعبي بنزين وسولار. عرفت انت العجز؟ مين ابدا المستشفى ولا المحطه والموتوسيكل والسيارات؟ قول لي مين ابدا؟ انت خليك مكان.
This phone call and others can be authenticized and verified by other agencies that we send them more materials that I cannot reveal here. Agency of the United States and United Kingdom will verify these materials. This call that we intercepted reveals a few things. While Hamas screamed to the world about a lack of fuel, there is no shortage of fuel in Gaza. Hamas has the fuel. It's in the hands of Hamas. The leadership and the member of Hamas are lying. Hamas has fuel. Hamas stores this fuel underneath hospitals in Gaza, the very hospital that Hamas tells the world's running out of fuel. I will now share one last audio recording with you that we intercepted. Hamas
اللي داير متوفر في الشمال عندي وتحت ايدي 1000 لتر، هدول بكفهم بس لبكره بس، بالباقر والكباشات والسيارات تاعتي. الان احنا عندنا تقريبا 4 ايام بنعبي سولار من اللي اخذناه من الاتصالات. طيب انت تقدر تاخذ من المستشفى؟ فيش باقي صاحبه عاطف جاي امبارح، صاحبه كله ماخذه على الاندونيسي. طيب انت ايش الحد اللي يعني اللي حط الحين احنا استغلهم قد ما تقدر، لكن بكره حلينا ان شاء الله خير. الحين هي مشكله.
Hamas moves fuel from the hospital to terrorists. Okay? In Jabalia. Meaning moving it from Shifa to Jabalia. From Shifa Hospital to Jabalia. The same Jabalia that Ibrahim Biari, the murderous commander, was killed. They move fuel to Jabalia because Jabalia is a terror center. They steal the fuel from the hospital, the fuel terror infrastructure.